Hello everyone, this is Abiodun. So today I'm going to be showing us an automation, an AI powered social media content automation system that I built. So basically the automation is in three phases. So basically social media content is going to be produced, designed, and then it's going to be posted. But this posting is going to be automatically posted by scheduling tools. So first is set up my table record so that can be able to store our content and other details for us to keep track of the content. So we have our topic description and all that. We have the platform to post, we have the status, we have the content input. Basically, this content input is to tell us what kind of brand invoice, weekly themes, content structure, and the week dates for each content to be created. So this week date, I just added it randomly. I just put today's date for me to be able to test. So basically, I put today's date. So we are going to use the content post and the content input. So like I said, it's a social media content automation system which is designed on the three steps. We have pending and review, we have approved, and we have scheduled. Scheduled, which move to posting. Now, so first, this is the first workflow, which is the weekly generation. So basically, for every before the week that a particular post is going to be posted, it generates a series of content. So here we have our search record. So here is just to search the content input to see the kind of content the weekly themes that particular week is going to generate. So we calculate the new date of the next week. So that's Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. We match the results and we set the content ideas. So this content idea is basically just to, let's say you want to generate three content for a particular day. Let's say Monday you want to generate three content. You can decide to come here and update it. Let's say two on Monday, you want to generate three content for Tuesday. So that is what this is doing. So just to make it flexible and for you to be able to know how many. Then we have our ChatGPT message, which is gotten from. We use our brand voice, content structure, and then we use our weekly themes. So this is we change to weekly themes from this content structure. So once we do that, we tell it to generate a JSON format based on the on this format that we give it. So it's going to generate that and give us the solution. So once it does that, we come back. We have our parse AI JSON. Basically, is to convert our string JSON into a more structured JSON. So we have stringified JSON. So it's going to modify it to be a structured and a valid JSON. So once we do that, we assign a publish date to each of those contents. So once we assign it, we construct the data to match the Airtable data so that we don't just pull all the data. So I construct the data using the set field. So once we do that, I aggregate everything. So once I aggregate all the data, then I send that to Slack for any user that wants to review or approve or do any update. So once we do that, we'll get an email Slack. So let's go to Slack. So let me delete this. So now we are here now. So I want to run this. So basically, this is our content input. So it's going to look at this, and this is where it's going to generate our content. So I'm coming. So we have this. So I'll just come here. I want to update this so that it generates very well. So we have this weekly thing. So that's that. And so let me run this so we can see how it's going to run. So I'm going to run it now. It's generating the content, and so it has generated the content. So I'm going to go to my. So here are the content that has been generated. You can see the list, and so it's give them visibility that this particular content has been generated for them to review or approve. Let's go to our content. Why I did like this such a way that user can perform their updates on the Airtable and just pick it up. I want just minimal input, and basically the input that they are going to be doing is just updating status, if a particular status is in review, they add review notes, and if it's in approved, they are going to choose the platform that they accept to post this particular content. So firstly, let's use the review. So we want to update this to review. So once we put the review, we want to say explain this topic explicitly. So once we do that, let's see, so wait for it to save. So it has saved. So we go to we have our content lifecycle orchestrator. So basically this content we have 3 different status. We have review, we have schedule, and we have posted. So this schedule now, for it to enter schedule, that means that particular content has been approved. And for it to enter the review, that means the particular status is in review. And for it to enter posted, that means the particular content, the status is on scheduling status. So I'm going to run this now. So let me run this. So it should go to the review. So you can see, go to the review sub workflow and runs the sub workflow, and we are waiting for a response. So you can see response. So if I go to here, this is it, and so you can see it execute this. So we have our sub workflow, which automatically it regenerates the new content because the user that reviewed it had some review notes to it. So if we go back, we will see that it goes back to pending and the review has been cleared off. So once we do that, now that's the first workflow. Let's say the second workflow now is when the topic, that particular this thing is approved, and we want to post it to Instagram and Twitter. So once we do that, so we've saved it. So we decided, let's say we want to run it now. The scheduling will keep running for 15 minutes interval. So once it runs this, so let's run this now and see what it's going to give us now. So we are going to run this. So you can see now it moves to the schedule part because this particular content has been approved. So it moved to the scheduling part, and then we go to so here, this is the part it went inside. This is the approval and the multi-platform routing. So when a particular content is approved and has been given platform to post, so you can see this is the new update, this is the new execution. So you can see it's coming from the scheduling workflow. It checks the publish date to see that this particular publish date is still current. Then I use a scheduling platform called Pobla because of some trade-offs. So I decided to use Pobla. So Pobla is as a scheduling tool that helps us to post our content. So I got the workspace that I want to use, and I got the account. So you have to specify the account. So I connected to like 2 accounts on my workspace, which is Instagram and Twitter. So then the normalized account is basically, so in our content type, we set it to Instagram and Twitter. That means I want to compare it with the account and the platform that I want to send it to. So you can see it returns these 2 accounts, which is Instagram and Twitter. And then I split it. Once I split that, so I go to the multi-platform routing. So it's routed based on the platform that you want to send. So we have Instagram and we have Twitter. So this first one is Twitter, and it gives us job ID. So this job ID is basically to help us. So we call it, and from there we'll be able to know that if that particular content has been scheduled. So once we do that, give us the job ID, and I send an HTTP request to know if this particular request has been scheduled. But here we have an issue because of the Instagram. So saying photos is too short, so I need to do something. But here, which is the Twitter part, it gives us job ID, and if we come to this place, we can see that status complete, but there is no failure. So once there is no failure, once this failure is an empty object, that means we have successfully scheduled this particular content. So if I go to this platform, which is Pobla, I should be able to see now this is my content that I sent to this reach. So the time for the post is 4:04, which is currently 4 o'clock, but it's going to send 4 minutes after 4. But the next one, which is the posted. So once once the content has been posted, so it's going to be content lifecycle orchestrator is going to pick it up again, and then it takes it to the post workflow, which executes this sub workflow here. And here is just to check if the publish date has been is old. So once it's old, we are going to update the data to posted. So once we update it to posted, we set the router, so we also get an email. So if we come to this place, you can see we get email when it was in review. We also get a Slack message when it was approved and moved to schedule. So Those are so once it's also posted, it's going to also send a Slack message which will show that this particular content has been posted. And I added error logger. So this error logger is just to help us to track error on each node. So I just basically just do the settings. I added the error logger, and so once there is any issue in each node, it's going to populate that to our error logs on Google Sheets and also send a message on Slack. So that is that for the workflow. So you can see here we have scheduled, which means it has been scheduled. That means we have to wait for 4:04 for it to work. So that is that. Okay, so it's already 4:04. So you can see here it shows that this particular post has been scheduled. And on my post on my Twitter, if I go to my Twitter, not yet showed yet, but let me refresh because it's still unscheduled and it's 4:04 here. So let's see. So now it shows that what it has been published. So let's go to our Twitter back and refresh. So you can see that this is my post which has been posted to my Twitter account. And now let's go back to our workflow. So the workflow that we're going to go to is the posted workflow. So this posted workflow now. So our content lifecycle orchestrator is also going to pick up each 15 minutes. So once it picked up, so let me run it now for it to pick up the posted workflow. So it goes like this. So let me run this. You can see it comes to the posted and it sends it. So once we come to our content, you can see it's post and change the status to posted. Once we come to this place, let's go to our, so you can see it's run successfully, it update the record and set the route. So basically that is the workflow for this particular AI powered social media content automation system. Thank you very much.